Ladies and gentlemen, Ghost of Yotei is right around the corner, and I'm sure many of you will want to see if Sucker Punch can catch lightning in a bottle a second time. So let's jump back to Tsushima and sharpen up your skills. Landing perfect parries can be frustrating, but I've got a few tips for you to make them happen more often. First, equip the charm of Mizu no Kami, which increases the timing window for perfect parries. You can find this at the Springfall Shrine over here on the map. Next, try and hit your parry while the enemy is mid-swing, but this can be tricky, so you might want to try and watch their feet instead. If one or both of their feet leaves the ground, that's when you'll want to hit your parry. However, if you want to be extra cheeky, consider using your concentration when aiming your bow. This will allow you to be as precise as you wish, and when you're ready, release L2 and immediately punch the parry. There's no delay between your bow and the parry button, so you shouldn't worry about missing the perfect parry. Credit to GameSpot for actually pointing out that one. Just make sure to always hold down your block button to make sure that you don't take damage if you miss the parry. I've also heard a couple of people say that you can watch for a white flash on the enemy's weapon, but I could never reliably notice it, so take that with a grain of salt. Moving on from parries, if and when you feel overwhelmed with enemies, just pop a smoke bomb to quickly break line of sight. But an even better use of your smoke bomb, provided you've got the chain assassinations unlocked, is to chain assassinate 2 or 3 enemies immediately after dropping a smoke bomb to even the odds a little bit. But if you don't have any smoke bombs, breaking an enemy's guard is the quickest way to take them down. Make sure to use the correct stance's heavy attack and always finish off a stunned enemy as quickly as possible. And if you really want to be efficient, consider using your kunai, as they immediately break any opponent's guard, including leaders. And then tap dodge followed up by a light attack. This works wonders, especially if you catch more than one enemy with a single kunai. Following with the theme of quickly killing enemies, you might want to abuse the wind stance's kick to knock enemies off ledges or into bodies of water. For some reason, the guys on Tsushima can't swim, so they won't be able to bother you anymore. Standoffs are another great way to quickly cut down 2 or 3 enemies with ease. But I'm sure you've noticed that some enemies will try and bait you into attacking too soon. So instead of watching their hands, take a look at their feet. They'll swing their arms about wildly, but unless they actually plan to attack, their feet will remain firmly on the ground. And if you catch yourself in tall grass during a standoff, you can actually gain some distance by spamming the jump button while holding back on your joystick. Jin will do a little hop during the final cut just before the standoff starts, giving you a few split seconds more to react. Credit to Arctics for figuring this one out, but also keep in mind that this only works if Jin is walking in the final shot. It won't work if he is standing still, and some enemies will actually bug out sometimes, but this happens on very rare occasions where they'll walk to the side during the standoff, making it impossible to perform. Now, you won't always be running around in the open, so here are a few very handy tips to make sure that your Jin lives up to the Ghost's reputation. If you don't yet have the far hearing ability unlocked, you can actually use wind chimes to detect enemies at greater distances. The wind chime highlights enemies that will be attracted to its sound, and that highlight can be seen through walls. Now, you won't always be stealthing around successfully, so if you do get spotted and the mongrel goes to blow his horn, if you take him out at the beginning of his blowing, it won't actually alert the surrounding enemies, even if it already started. So just be quick and pop an arrow into his vocal cords. But if you've managed to stay stealthy, keep in mind that Jin can still perform an air assassination even if the prompt doesn't show. All you have to do is drop down towards the enemy and the prompt will pop up when you are in range. I can't tell you how many times this has saved me when I fall from on high and there happens to be an enemy below me. You just somehow avoid taking fall damage if you do something like this, intentionally or not. But if you still want chaos to ensue without getting noticed yourself, remember that you can shoot the locks of cages if they house a bear, for example. You don't need to walk up to the lock and open it manually. That reminds me, bears are an excellent source of predator hides. When you see one, you can just whip out your short bow and pop a headshot, as it will instantly take them down. Boars are also a great way to farm predator hides, but if you're on foot, they have this annoying habit of running you down. To avoid this, just hop on your horse and for some reason they'll actually just start running away. Best part is, you don't need to land headshots to take them down. A single arrow anywhere on the body will do just fine. Just make sure that you have the Charm of Inari equipped to double up on resources like predator hides, bamboo, yew wood and supplies. The charm can increase the amount you get anywhere between 70 and 120%. And while you're exploring with your trusty steed, I always call mine Nobu, you can actually spot points of interest from very far away. Fox dens, for example, are always covered with fireflies, making them very distinguishable from all the other trees. Hot springs can be spotted via white steam rising into the air. Just be sure to check around them as they almost always have a flower close by. Songbirds will indicate a haiku spot, which always rewards you with a nice headband. And finally, white smoke always indicates a possible side mission or survivor camp, while black smoke indicates Mongol encampments. Speaking of, when you clear a Mongol camp, it will reveal a tiny portion of the map surrounding it, but if you clear all of them in a selected region, it will unveil the entire map, so no need to go around clearing all the fog by yourself. And finally, a last bonus tip I have for you, which concerns your damage. It will increase it ever so slightly. It is a high risk, high reward type of playstyle, but that is to switch your difficulty to lethal. If you are good at avoiding taking damage, this won't be a problem, and you will kill most enemies in 2 to 3 shots, no problem. But like I said, it is high risk, high reward. You will also get taken down in 1 or 2 shots. On the bright side, you can try out all other kinds of playstyles because you don't need to worry about damage mitigation at all, because it won't help. I've been having a blast with Ghost of Tsushima in preparation for Ghost of Yotei, which I'm very much looking forward to. So if you want more tips like this to make sure that you are also ready to tackle Yotei with all its mystery, then subscribe because I've got more coming. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and share with me in the comments more tips like this that you might think others will find useful. Until next time, stay safe and may God bless you all.